What if I told you there will be total of 10 developments launching in the same area, same location, same buyer, same rental pool? Will you run or will you buy? So here's how I will be looking at Lentor Gardens Residences. Here are the past and present launches in the Lentor Township. We are expecting the town to host over 4,000 units in the near future, with the 2 future land parcels yet to know the number of units. It looks like quite a huge supply has formed, but when I take a closer look, I identified some patterns. So the Lentor Township has went through 2 significant market changes, the harmonization rule and also the SSD liability change. If you haven't heard about the harmonization rule, it is a rule to exclude unusable spaces like aircon ledge into the total GFA, so meaning to say that the PSF will be looking higher. The rule is significant to you on how you classify the different projects, even if they are same area, as calculation will be different. Therefore, if I group the similar ones together, the unit has to uphold the rule is slightly only over 2,000 units. Another rule also taken place ever since the first Lentor project, Lentor Modern, has launched. The change in liability duration from 3 years to 4 years from exercise date. It has been added since July 2025 as a part of cooling measure. With these 2 rules, the grouping is starting to get more and more exclusive with 1,000 units plus the 2 reserve sites. The new SSD rule delays the frequency of property sales in the market. If I dive in deeper, this actually created a good runway for investors who buys Lentor Gardens Residences. The last Lentor launch before the 4-year rule is Lentor Central Residences last March, giving more than another year buffer between. With the next plot announcing its tender results earlier this year, it gives a time gap for exit plans too. This will allow Lentor Gardens Residences to enter the market in a different batch compared to the earlier neighbours, which majority will look to exit the market when it reaches the end of the SSD liability, also allowing more time for investors to offload before its future neighbours joins the race, also making them the main and also potentially the only brand new supply at that point of time. What's better, the price point looks pretty good too. The developer Kingsford has already announced the bottom and average prices of 2050 and 2350 PSF respectively, making it a very competitive amongst the Lentor projects. This can be achieved because they have actually acquired the land cheaper price than the others. It gives Kingsford a bit of flexibility in pricing. Despite knowing the starting and average prices, the top prices are still unknown. So the real question is, what's the developer's pricing strategy going to be? Kingsford's previous launch at Chuan Park, we can see that they have a pattern of including price adjustments as the sale continues. From this example, actually I spotted extra price loading between floors within the launch date itself. So there are price loading all over here. Eventually, the 5th floor sold higher than the 9th floor, and of course there are loading in between floors as well. We have also seen total price increases just weeks after the launch day, which is just 18 days. There's a price difference between the lower floor and the higher floor. So even when they are reaching the near end of its inventory, Kingsford still remain confident about its products. If you also look at One Marina Gardens that is launched last year, they placed price increments for their remaining inventory as well. It looks like it might happen again to Lentor Gardens Residences if the pattern continues. Even though the entry timing and also the prices look pretty good, but there are still 10 projects within this neighborhood. So how will the rentability be affected? The closer the accepted price is, the better the rentability and also the shorter time you get rented out. So take these 5 watches for example. Tenant sees this unit available like how you see the watches. It's always selecting the cheapest one because it's all very similar and there's also a big supply. So only when there's a lower supply, so for example if we were to take out some of the supply here, we are able to command a better pricing. So that's the difference between rentability versus rental yield. If you want both, I'm afraid that actually Lentor Gardens Residences might not be the best bet because the supply is quite overwhelming here. Also, thank you for watching our analysis so far. If you found what we presented useful, do reach out to us to assist you further. Okay, Lentor Gardens Residences will play host to over almost 500 units, 499 units, including 3 strata terraces, which are actually quite rare, and also an early childhood development center. It has almost 80% car park. So for a project that is near MRT, I think it's quite high in this market. Some of the projects are doing 40 to 50% or even 60%. So Lentor Gardens land plot is situated here. It's right beside Lentor Central Residences, and this part will be the Hillock Park. And this one, right, will be the future land plot, the 2 reserve site, one of the 2 reserve sites. And from what I can see from this one, actually there will be quite a few 2-bedder, right, that is pool facing lah. So this one will be quite rare because usually for pool facing it will be a more premium facing. So if you take a look at the unit mix, it actually makes up of 50+% 2-bed 2-bath. There is no 2-bed 1-bath, there is no 1-bedder. So it makes it look like a very investment-driven project. What is special is actually there will be 3 shops and also 3 terraces. But these 3 strata terraces, you really need a very good queue number to get it, because I feel like strata terraces in general is already quite rare in the market, especially new ones. Okay, first up we take a look at the 2-bedders. I feel generally the basic 2-bedders here gives you a very similar layout except for the P1, which is a smaller in square feet. It comes with a galley kitchen instead of an enclosable kitchen. So making P2, P3, P4 a very similar layout. What's the difference, or what you should look at, is actually the facing. So for me, I feel that the pool facing of future development stands out in terms of facing. Of course, pool facing is quite safe as well. However, if you are thinking more towards the view and you're okay with a difference in the layout, right, the P1 will be a good one because it's the only basic 2-bedder that is facing the Hillock Park. Okay, so for this project, right, they actually feature a 2-bedder plus home shelter as well, but it only has 1 stack. This unit type, right, actually solve one problem for basic 2-bedders out there in the market. Usually basic 2-bedders have a very little space for the storage. For this layout, right, there's a full home shelter here, which will solve quite a lot of practicality problem, because usually 2-bedder owners are complaining that there are no storage, very small size. It stands out from the basic one because only this bedder type has the home shelter. As for the 2-bedder plus study, it has 6 different layouts, actually are very similar. The main differences actually will be the positioning of the study. So it's either along the kitchen or opposite the kitchen. I personally would like something like this, the study be opposite the kitchen. At least you look the dining area be a bit more spacious. And of course here can be your kitchen storage, but if not, a general storage is good as well. But for me, if you are considering between 2-bedder plus study or actually a 2-bedder basic, right? If you do a quick math, right, here the units are all sized at 732 square feet. Then for your 2-bedder basic is about 678 square feet. The difference is about 54 square feet. So this 54 square feet, right, will equate to about 129k price difference. The trade-off actually is for 129k you get an extra study area. So this one is actually very important to consider in case you really want to fork out this amount for an extra study area lah. So overall for me, my preferred 2-bedder choice will be the 2-bedder plus home shelter. First thing is actually it will stand out. Second thing, with a top up of 11 square feet, right, compared to the basic 2-bedders, right, which is 678. So you top up about 26k, you'll be able to get a full home shelter, which I feel is quite attractive. Okay, so now we come to the 3-bedders. We start with the 3-bedder compact. So 3-bedder compact has 2 types. One is the 3-bedder compact, the other one is the one with the study. Okay, so one is pool facing, or rather both are pool facing. Good thing about this bedder type, right, even though they are a compact size, you see their bathrooms and also their kitchen, it comes with windows, which is quite rare in this market. And especially for the one with the study, it comes with a very well positioned study whereby actually it can be a 4th room, but of course this 4th room could only fill a single bed, but I feel like it's good enough. It can make a 3 plus 1 more room. So it can be a helper's room, it can be another owner's room also. So despite it being a small size, right, for 936 and 872, they are not lacking in anything. They have an enclosable kitchen. For this, they have a study. All your bedrooms can fit queen size or double beds. So overall, I think for this size, you're able to get everything. I think it's quite good. Next one will be the 3-bedder plus study. This one will be a bigger one compared to the compact one. But however, it's surprising that the compact one has a slightly more efficient layout than the bigger size one. Both are actually dumbbell layouts with your bedrooms here and here. Okay, the study is positioned beside the bath, which is not something that I prefer. But of course, if let's say you have a need for it, right, you can actually do a mini storage also outside here. You will need more space for that. It comes with a home shelter as well. But however, one thing very important to take note that is the kitchen and the toilet doesn't come with a window. Usually this issue or this problem will only affected the compact size unit, but however this one is a 3-bedder study, which is a bigger unit but it doesn't have windows. So this is something that you should take note. I have the 3-bedder premium. 3-bedder premium will be a more familiar layout for most of the homeowners. So good thing about it is that the wet kitchen comes with a yard area. Even though there are 4 layouts, but I think the most important differences will be the facing, pool facing or development facing. If not, will be the foyer space. So apart from that, there won't be any big difference between these 4 configurations. So my preferred 3-bedder choice is the 3-bedder compact plus study, 936 square feet. For a 936 square feet unit, you are able to get everything that a 3-bedder needs. I think it's quite an attractive thing to look at. And furthermore, actually all the 3-bedders will have the similar facing speed, different type of 3-bedders. It is important because if the view is similar, the only thing that stand out from your competitor actually will be the layout, which this unit type will offer you. So now about the 4-bedders, we have 2 types. One is the compact and one is the premium. We talk about the compact, it's standing at 1184 square feet. I would say that this type of layout for 4-bedder is quite usual, it's quite typical, but yet also practical for a 4-bedder. They provide you with a walk-in wardrobe space and overall efficient layout. So the home shelter is flush here for this particular one. This also is just the orientation of it. In my opinion, it might lose some shine because of the no landscape living room, which the premium has. But however, premium will be a more bigger size unit compared to the compact. It's 1,300 plus square feet. Another thing you need to consider is for a 4-bedder, there's only 2 full baths, which is here and here. Of course, there will be a WC here, but if you were to have a bigger family, I feel this is something that you need to think through. Next one, of course, is the 4-bedder premium, which is a bigger size unit in the project other than your strata landed. So it stands at 1356 or 1346 depending on the type you choose. It comes with a landscape living room and also the junior master and the junior master bath, which makes it 3 bedrooms for 4 bedrooms, or rather 3 bathrooms for 4 bedrooms. So for the master bedroom, it comes with a more practical walk-in area or walk-in wardrobe compared to the compact. So I feel for this bedder type, with all the add-ons, right, it's overall a better one. And of course, you are paying more for the size as well. So as for the 4-bedder, I will not really recommend any preferred type because for 4-bedder actually is comparing your iPhone 17 and 17 Pro. The add-ons is depending on your family's needs and see whether you are able to have the affordability for it, or rather your budget to be set out to buy. Okay, lastly for the layouts, I will be showing you the strata landed layouts. These are only the exclusive 3 inside this project. All of them have 5 bedrooms available. I feel overall it replicates terrace house living a lot because yes, total of 5 bedrooms, one of the bedrooms is a granny's room on first floor. So I feel overall these 3 strata landed is good for owners that want space and privacy, and also at the same time also want the facilities of the condo. Because the upkeeping of the facade of the unit, right, also will be responsible for by the MCSD. So this is something that you need to take a note of if you are either purchasing a strata landed or a pure landed itself. So there it is. I hope you guys have a better understanding about this project, and thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.